Hello Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. I'm happy to have you all out there. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to maybe learn something and better yourself or your situation. Do remember you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions, so it's always best to trust your own intuition. Know that you will be able to separate what is meant for you and what is not. Pull a few more cards here for Virgo. It's funny, I almost called you Gemini. Maybe you're dealing with one. All right. 2 more cards for Virgo. What would be helpful for them to hear? 2 in there. Okay. So let's go ahead and set the intention. Anyone out there watching Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus placements, let's set the intention to get them some clear, helpful, and insightful messages for wherever they are currently at on their spiritual path. All right, let's do it. So Virgo, center of your spread is the 6 of Cups. All right, so you seem to be preoccupied with the past, possibly healing some sort of relationship. It could be a family dynamic, a friendship, a relationship. You're coming from a place of 7 of Wands, so someone being a little bit defensive or a little bit cold, a little bit distant, someone who maybe doesn't feel comfortable expressing their emotions. It might be easier for them to run than to actually address what's going on at hand. There could be like an avoidancy there. And keep in mind, this could be you too. I think it's important to be open-minded that we're not always the hero, right? You know, we participate in relationships and there's always some give and take. So it's not about being critical, it's just sort of being self-aware. So then in sort of like the goals or desires that you're hoping to get out of this eventually, you have Queen of Cups and Judgment. So this is sort of taking a step back and being able to really understand what is transpiring, especially in the emotional capacity and the feeling capacity and how we love and relate to other people. And of course, probably how they love and relate to us. Very strong water energy there with like Scorpio, Cancer, could even be a Pisces. There could even be some sort of creative collaboration, something artistic that you may be holding yourself back from because of your own inner critic. It could be that someone's looking to join forces with you or collaborate or do some sort of business deal or just undertake some sort of project, or it could even be something for pleasure or hobby. And it's like, I see you being a little bit of a wallflower. It's like, I think there's very much an emotional desire to, I'm hearing the word yearning, wanting to express or move forward and connect with this person in, again, any sort of way, a creative way and a friendship way, and establish some sort of connection with harmony in it. But you yourself, you hold yourself back. So what are you thinking? You're thinking of returning a message or reaching out, possibly to a Sagittarius. I can't help but note the bow and arrow there are very prominent. But 8 of Wands is about messages. So you're thinking about either messages you've received, but very likely thinking about reaching back out to someone or hoping that they reach out to you. What are you feeling? You're feeling justice. So you may have feelings for a Libra, or maybe feeling like you need to sort of get your own emotions in check and in balance. Checks and balances. That actually makes me think of finances too. So maybe something about this could be some sort of contract, and you're trying to feel it out and you're wondering if it would be beneficial to your money or your income streams, your flow of income. Others of you, it almost seems like there might be emotional upsets, or it's almost like indecision, not knowing how to feel about an opportunity. With justice coming through, it's like wanting to feel like it's an absolute yes or an absolute no. I almost feel like you're trying to get the truth of the emotions, aka it's like you're trying to really listen to your intuition and understand what's going on. But some sort of situation that already transpired in the past may be overly influencing your decisions in the present. There could be a long-held pattern or belief you have about relationships or how you get treated in relationships, or where you hold yourself back, where you don't always feel like you bring substance or something to the table, or if you feel like you do, not feeling like it's appreciated. It could be too that you don't want to get steamrolled. You don't want to be a doormat, and I don't know, especially in a creative collaboration, it's like you don't want to pitch all the cool ideas and have other people profit off of it too. That's sort of coming through for some of you too. So there's like a lot of messages. Sometimes it's very specific to a storyline. Here it's more general, so obviously not all these messages will resonate for you, but So what is supporting you right now is the Chariot. So for some of you, quite literally, there could be a person who has strong Cancer in their chart, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, maybe. Others of you, something about going towards what feels like home. Our roots, our past, our ancestry. There could be something here to do with a mother figure that's coming through. And to be clear, how I read this part or this area where I put the card, it's help that is immediately available to us. AKA, you don't have to work tremendously hard to do this or achieve this. It's almost like a blessing in your life that you might just not be realizing or utilizing. So again, there might already be a person in your life who's willing to help you or support you. The ability to travel and go to and from and sort of your ability to have some sort of independence or freedom in how you move about with the Chariot, something to do with your car even. Others of you, it is a very strong card of intuition too. So it's almost like you're not trusting your intuition. Which is interesting because, I mean, there are some convoluted messages there. But ultimately, the Queen of Cups is sort of in the goals. So it is about getting your intuition back and having worked through some sort of difficult situation on the past that does seem to be sort of impeding, imposing, or honing in on your ability to see things presently with absolute clarity in a way that you can trust and make substantial plans based on that. I hope that makes sense. I think you need to go towards what you're feeling is right. Sometimes that defies logic. That can be sort of the power struggle of like the Libra Cancer stuff. The Libra is, it is a Venus-ruled sign, but because it's an air sign, it lives more up in its head. It's more of a, does this make sense? Is it logical type of sign? Whereas Cancer, it's all about the feelings and the emotions attached. So does it feel right to you? There might be a power struggle between that because, what's coming up in the feelings is that leaning into the logic. But what's actually supporting you best at this time is trusting the process. I think that's important too. Believing in the progress too. I'm wanting to say too, realizing how many strides you've already made forward in whatever this is. But yeah, what's best supporting you now is trusting your gut feeling and your intuition. Especially in regards to relationships too. Some of you may be visiting home or visiting family or reconnecting with someone from your past. And maybe there's a couple different storylines here about people from your past, but maybe there's a best friend or someone you grew up with, someone you knew in childhood. Maybe you're going to hang out and it's almost like the, spirit is going to speak through them. They're going to tell you something that you need to hear without necessarily trying to be a sage advice or that voice of guidance. It's someone who they have your best interest at heart because you guys trust each other. There's an established trust and there's a connection. And so it almost is coming through as like a best friend energy of someone who might be able to say that one thing that allows you to see it from a different perspective. And you're like, okay, now I can move forward. So your action or advice is the Knight of Pentacles. So again, realizing that progress is being made, slow strides, it adds up over time. I'm also hearing like quality over quantity too. I don't really know how that fits, but Knight of Pentacles is you though. I think this is also about putting trust in yourself, and maybe it does have to do with your own self-worth. We talked about questioning, not always feeling validated by others or questioning your own self-worth and what you bring to the table, but sometimes it's your own inner critic that holds you back. It's not necessarily the reception of the room. Because ultimately, you have to believe that you do deserve good things and that you do have a lot of lovely and fantastic qualities, because you do. Spoiler alert, if you don't know that, you do. This person definitely sees that in you. Again, someone from your past I'm not necessarily saying you haven't seen them in years, but they've been like a key player in your life, a key character, featured strongly in the narrative that you write about your life, so to say. Yeah, this person may say just the right thing to get you to realize your gifts and your talent that make you feel more confident to reach out and, apply to the job or reach out to the headhunter or the person who wants to collaborate with you and feeling more secure to go towards it. I don't think it's about being completely void of fear. I think it's about moving through the fear knowing that, there might be things that trigger your confidence a little bit, but that doesn't mean that you still can't do this. And it's going to be a really great learning process for you with kind of the Sagittarian energies, opening up and expanding your mind to see things in a new way and being open to new possibilities. You do have a couple cards indicating maybe something with travel. So maybe that's just like a little break from the reality to sort of hit reset and do sort of some soul searching and see things from a different perspective when you sort of, get out of your immediate territory, your zone, your comfort zone, your safety spot, so to say. Yeah, it's like, the air is so much fresher up here. It's like, go to the mountains, go hiking, go skiing, go visit a friend a couple cities over, whatever it is. It's like getting out of your own backyard would be helpful. It's going to help. It's going to help guide you in some sort of way. Also, some of you may have a very close connection to a family member, particularly female energies coming through. Super strong in this reading. I mean, you can tell by the deck anyway, right? But especially like a mother or a sister, they might, again, someone that you do trust and can confide in, someone who does have your best interest at heart, and someone who's shady or trying to, has like a competitive energy. It's not that person. It's not that person. But yeah, I see you getting some sort of advice or guidance from someone who's telling you, like, and I mean, it's this tarot reading too, for one thing. It's like, no one's going to do it quite like you. And that's a gift. Rather than seeing your differences as something that you feel shamed about or less than, or I don't know, it's like your difficulty is what makes you almost like the unicorn. I could see that as like a nice little thing of symbolism. It's like, it's different, it's kind of weird, it's kind of kooky, but that's a skill you have. No one does it quite like you, Virgo. So maybe that's why this person is wanting to collab with you or communicate or be in some sort of relationship with you, is because there's something different, and they're very attracted to that. In some ways it's like you challenge them in a good way. You offer your own insight and perspective, and you can learn from each other, as long as you're willing to be a good listener too. It has to be reciprocal. I like that. The Knight of Pentacles, it says you can go at your own pace here, but I think you owe it to yourself to expand out of your comfort zone and go after something, because it could bring you a lot of pleasure. I think with Page of Wands, you could have a lot of fun doing it. It's fire energy, so there's a need to be curious, to grow, to get out there, to not be in hermit mode and talk yourself out of things. This is kind of just rolling a dice, and I get it. It's a Virgo reading, so I'm going to say taking some sort of maybe calculated risk, but I don't really see any risk here. I think it's just getting you out of your comfort zone, and maybe it almost feels like spring energy. It's like we've been in hermit mode collectively for the people, who are experiencing winter, the way I am. That's kind of a limited perspective, but it's sort of like coming out of hibernation mode. I guess that's how I would say it, whether it's weather related or seasonal related or whatever. It's like we've been inside so long, we've forgotten that like there's a whole world out there. And I think metaphorically that's what's going on here. It's like there's a lot more to be discovered. There's a lot of fun in life, and make sure you're taking advantage of those avenues and those paths and those relationships, those friendly communications, the people in your peer groups and in your community, your neighbors, your friends, and people who introduce you and expose you to new people and new energies. There's a great opportunity to network here and to grow, especially in some sort of creative career, or even maybe something that's a little bit more spiritual, or that might even involve travel. Yeah, a lot of you may end up traveling with your partner or taking something on the road, or going on a vacation, especially like with a loved one, would be very helpful and offer you, it feels good. It feels like it helps you reprogram or reset, so that you're able to, I think it's about getting your body back into alignment too, being able to rest, because then it's like you're better able to trust your intuition, because you sort of, I'm seeing something being wrung out, like a wet towel. It's like it's being wrung out. We're getting rid of the excess, I don't know what this, like excess fluid or excess worry or excess tears, or something about wringing something out to dry. We're able to better trust what's in front of us and what's going on inside of us. I hope that makes sense to some of you out there. I want to look at this one more time. Your messages are kind of all over the place. I don't have a consistent message, but hopefully this spoke to someone out there. Yeah, I think this is a message about you don't have to be the wallflower anymore. There's a false sense of safety and comfort there, maybe because it's what you've always done, or even if that's not true, it's like the false sense of safety and comfort and security, especially with Cancerian energy. I get it. It's like it's consistent and you know it, but at what point do you outgrow it and deny yourself the opportunity to experience lovely and wonderful things that are at a different spot or in a different location or with a different job or with a different person? you bring something really special and fun and exciting. It's naturally who you are. And you're also denying, the world of your gifts when you keep yourself secluded and hidden. I feel like through a friend, again, a friend from the past, they start to help break you out of your shell a little bit. And maybe it's your husband, maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your champion, it's your biggest cheerleader, it's your person who's always rooting for you. And they may actually get you unstuck or help to get you out of your shell if you're struggling with that through some sort of fear or engaging in some sort of new contract that I think could be very beautiful and very healthy for you. It's also an opportunity that may resurface from your past with Mercury retrograde. And, again, you use your own judgment here, but because you're a sign ruled by Mercury, the Six of Cups in judgment, it's like something you may have refused or denied or passed up on. With Seven of Wands, it's like you blocked yourself from it. You're like, oh no, it's not the right time. I can't leave my job, or I can't go on that vacation, or I can't do the thing. It wouldn't it wouldn't be good. Like, it's just not good timing for me. The universe is like, okay, but we'll bring it back around because the time is now. I do think you're going to take advantage of it this time. I think you're going to sip from that cup, so to say, with the Queen of Cups. And I think you're going to find it quite nourishing. I think you're going to enjoy it very much. I think there's going to be a lot of pleasure and even a sense of, man, I wish I had done that sooner. So you have clarity. Yeah, a lot of you are spiraling a little bit right now. With the Justice coming up in your emotions, you're living too much in your head, Virgo. Again, a Mercury ruled sign, you and Gemini, you do that. It's cool. I get it. Again, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, once you become aware of it, you can realize, okay, I'm a Mercury ruled sign, the logic, the mind, the brain, but also I'm an earth sign at my core. Virgo, it's like we gotta bring that mental energy back down into the body and refocus, reconnect with our body so that we can trust our intuition and access, our connection to the divine that is guiding us, that is helping us find clarity. I think you've been second guessing yourself a lot too, and that's why this person in your life is such an angel or like a blessing or some sort of divine intervention. The universe is speaking through them because they can really cut to your core. They know you well enough to not push you too hard, but to say the thing that they know that you need to hear. And you know it too. I think it helps to have those reminders and those people in your life who, again, they're coming from a very good place. They're coming from a very pure place. They want what's best for you. And they know that you hold yourself back sometimes, so they don't mind being that force of persistence of, hey, you should do it. You should go towards this. So symbolically, a character that might be playing a role in this, the waiter, attendant of hospitality, steward, and cleaner. That to me speaks so much of Virgo energy because it's the Virgo mantra, it's I live to serve. But are you serving yourself in the process too? Are you getting something out of this, or is it constantly putting your eggs in other people's baskets, tending to them, making sure they're good? But then at what point do you miss out on opportunities that could be quite healthy and cathartic and fun for you? The Page of Wands wants to have fun, and that's coming up as a very important energy here. Especially if you're a parent, the mother to your child, props to you for being a great parent, but also you have to live your life too. You have to nurture your own inner child. So maybe this is hiring a babysitter and going away for the weekend, be creative with how you choose to look at this. Some of you, it's reinvigorating your marriage and your sex life. All right. And then you have medical staff, healing. So 13 makes me think of the Death card too, which is about major transformation. Let me think about this. So Pluto has gone into Aquarius. I feel like something about that is wanting to come through. So for my Virgo risings, that would be maybe your 6th house. Does that make sense? Virgo rising, opposite Pisces. So yeah, for my Virgo risings and symbolically a lot of my Virgos, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Aquarius rules your 6th house of day-to-day routine, your daily habits, your daily rituals. It also has a lot to do with what we do for work on a day-to-day basis. Has to do with our pets as well, random fact. But also our health and wellness. So the 6th house is associated with Virgo by default. And And so with Pluto energy there, it's really shaking things up in a way for total and utter transformation. It's undeniable, it's irresistible, but not always in a way where it's like, ooh, I'm craving that. It's that the universe is saying like, hey, we got to change this up. Like it isn't working anymore. So, the quote unquote destruction of Pluto, it's actually to reinvent ourselves, I guess, in the sign of Aquarius, which is also like a very mentally focused sign, to change the way we see our lives and the habits and the patterns and the rituals that we've fallen into. Are they for our best and highest good? And where do we need to edit them? Where do we need to eliminate? That's a really good Pluto word. It's like bring the quote unquote death and destruction to something, tear it down, break it up, sever it, but it's for the purpose of reinvention. There's a better word for that. It's not quite coming to me, but the decay, the destruction, the elimination, there's a lot of similarities between like the Virgo energy and like the Scorpio stuff, which is what I've been mentioning with like Pluto. It's like, how can we edit and change and adapt and mold it? And with Scorpio, there can be this all or nothing extreme of just get rid of it and start over. I don't know if you're being asked to do that per se, but it does have to do with healthy changes that's going to help you live a better, healthier, I will say more satisfying, more enjoyable life. Maybe that has to do with your daily work and routine. Maybe you're leaving a job. Maybe you're asking for a raise. Maybe you're getting a promotion. Maybe you're traveling and bringing it on the road. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. With this card, it has to do with healing. Healing coming through. And I mean, it always does. It always does in a Virgo reading. Anyway. All right. Sorry for that ramble at the end. Thanks for joining me today, Virgo. Please hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted when I post my readings in the future. Right now, I'm doing them weekly. Pretty much every Friday, I'm posting new readings. So definitely come back to my channel. Check it out. I'm the Intuitive Teacup. I'm also doing content on Facebook and Instagram. So you're welcome to join me over there. Thanks for joining me today. And I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, Virgo.